Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Installment of Scott Selections here for Sunday, May 8th. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. A couple plays to go through, so I'll go through them quickly. Starting off with the good news, we picked up a winner in basketball with the Bucks team total under 107.5 at -110 on Bet Online. Bucks won the game, but they only finished with 103, so we had a winner there. And then, unfortunately, the UFC video ended up going terribly because we went 0-3 for -4 units on those three plays. We had Dumont by decision at +110. She lost by split decision. We had Chandler by decision at +250 on FanDuel. He won by vicious knockout over Ferguson. And then we had 2 units on Rose Namajunas on the money line at -200 on FanDuel, and she lost by split decision. And on top of that, Rose had one of the worst fight game plans I've ever seen. I'm still not exactly sure what happened in that fight because nothing happened, and I don't really know what went wrong in the actual, I'd say, lead up to the fight itself. Rose's corner was atrocious, and they didn't give her any good advice at all. But when you lose 3 plays and 2 of them are by split decision, it's kind of rough, but it is what it is. Overall, went 1-3 for -3.09 units. Not a good day, but look to bounce back with a winning day here on Sunday. And for the play for Sunday, we're going to look at a baseball game, an afternoon game between the Pirates and the Reds, taking place at around 1:40 p.m. Eastern Time. And for the play today, we're going to take a team total in this one. We're going to take the Pirates team total over 3.5 runs at -115 on BetMGM. Time recording of 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, it's no secret that the Reds are one of the worst teams in the history of the sport right now, but the main reason why this team has been bad is because they are really awful at pitching. And the Reds have been especially bad at pitching lately, as Cincinnati has allowed at least 4 runs in 10 of its last 11 games. And on top of that, you have Molly starting for the Reds, and he has been awful up to this point. 25 2/3 innings pitched, 7.01 ERA, and he's been consistently bad because he's not provided any length whatsoever. Molly has pitched less than 5 2/3 in each of his first 6 starts. And the reason why that matters is because the Reds have the worst bullpen in the league. The Reds have a 5 flat bullpen ERA, which is tied for the worst in the league. So even if Molly pitches decently, 6 innings is probably going to be a ceiling, and the Reds' bullpen has been known to give up a bunch of runs, and I do think that there's a chance that even if Molly's pitching pretty well, the Pirates could do enough damage against the bullpen to get over this relatively low number. And to go backtrack for a second and talk about Molly, the ERA is terrible. I just mentioned that. But you'd assume, based on most Major League pitchers, that if your ERA is high, you're probably giving up a bunch of home runs. Surprisingly, Molly has not. He's only given up 1 home run in 25 2/3 innings pitched, which means he gives up a bunch of base runners. He's given up 30 hits and 14 walks. And the reason why that's important is because of the fact that Pittsburgh is actually decent at both hits and walks per game. Pittsburgh is averaging 7.71 hits per game, which ranks 14th. And the Pirates are also averaging 3.21 walks per game, which ranks tied for 15th in the league. So even though Pittsburgh offensively is not great in terms of runs per game, they're actually pretty decent at getting runners on base, which has been Molly's kryptonite. And I do think they'll do enough to get guys on base and potentially in scoring position en route to getting a couple runs across the board before Molly ends up being pulled from the game. Plus, if you want to go by trends, the over is 8-2 in the last 10 meetings in Cincinnati. So when these teams get together, you tend to see a bit of fireworks, and I do think that this team total is just too low. But when Cincinnati is handing out 4 runs per game or more in 10 of the last 11, they can't pitch. You have a terrible starting pitcher on the mound and a terrible bullpen, and Pittsburgh's getting a guaranteed 9 at-bats because they're the road team in this one. 3.5 at -115 is an auto play for me, and I'm going to take it. So play that once again here for Sunday, May 8th. It's going to be on the Pirates team total over 3.5 runs at -115 on BetMGM. Bye, everyone.